Rappers and music producers, has been another eventful week in hip hop. Today, what I want to focus on is something that was quite tragic that happened last week. It hit a lot of people in the hip hop hearts, including myself. There's a very legendary name that passed away, a name that has been around since way before I even thought about picking up a microphone or picking up some equipment to make beats. And that name was Craig Mack. It was unfortunate, but Craig Mack passed away at 46. It's tragic to be that young, you know, and I'm saying young not in the scope of hip hop, because I'm looking here on my phone at a meme that somebody put up. Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest was 45 when he passed away. Sean Price, Sean P, 43. DJ Easy Rock, 46. Craig Mack, like I said, 46. Heavy D, 44. Kimbo Slice, which of course, you know, he was embraced by the hip hop culture, but 42. Nate Dogg, 41. Guru, 48. Jay Dilla, 32. And of course, you know, Bernie Mac was at 50. We're not talking about those who were in shootouts. We're not talking about those who got shot down. We're not talking about the lifespan behind that culture. We already know what comes with that. But something that I feel like gets overlooked and doesn't get talked about enough is that our elders, man, especially the artists, the talent, the creatives, are dying incredibly young. When I heard the news of Craig Mack passing away, of course, you know, everybody remembers Flavor in Your Ear. Everybody remembers him really repping the beginning of Bad Boy Records as we have known it, and him literally being the face of that along with Biggie. And so we know the history of it, and, you know, we send our RIPs out there, but this list is just a short list of many different creatives, especially in hip hop, who don't crack 50. And so I, being, you know, the always thinking 33-year-old that I am, I start to ask myself, well, what kind of things contribute to a short lifespan within hip hop? And the second question I ask is that, why is it that the record execs who sign these artists, the record execs, the A&Rs, how is it that their lives stretch out longer? Because nobody in the music business is getting out unscathed, right? There's folks that have been in this for years and you can see it all through their face. But you start to think about rappers and, you know, obviously we can make very blanketed statements, and most people will. They'll talk about how their use of drugs, and they'll talk about how, you know, their lifestyle of being out and not getting rest, and even think about Rick Ross and the health scare that I'm sure that he and his family experienced. Like I said, we can make these blanketed statements and say it's the things that I listed before, but it's got to be something deeper than that. Because when you think about folks that the reasons that they're dying, whether it's the stress of the music industry, whether it's the lack of focus that the culture puts on self-health and preservation, whether it's just living a fast lifestyle in general, there's something that's not being spoken for. I can only speculate what exactly it is, right? So for myself, I know that when I got into rap, when you know, I was doing late night studio sessions, I know that my lack of sleep, I knew that not eating consistently and definitely not eating healthy all had effects on my brain, had effects on my health. You know, my pops used to always say, when you get a headache or you get a stomach ache, that's your body's alarm going off to tell you there's something else going on that needs your attention. And you're going to keep abusing me. And if you do that, I'm going to have to put out more alarms. And then if you don't pay attention to the alarms, it gets more dangerous from here. So you start looking at even like the seizures that the rappers are having. Like you think about Lil Wayne and you think about Rich Homie Quan. And of course, we can attribute some of that to lean usage and the side effects of that. But it just seems like the conversation about taking care of your bodies, taking care of you as an artist, you as a producer, it seems like that does not get glamorized as much as the producer or the rapper staying up all night, you know, only getting 1 hour of sleep. And this is something I've been a part of. I glamorized this in the past. I've made songs called 21/7 where it was really about grinding for 21 hours and for 7 days and only needing 3 hours of sleep.
My mama say I'm crazy cause I'm up like a fiend, but all I really need is 3 hours of sleep. Lonnie, all I really need is 3 hours of sleep.
I live by that, but I'm here to tell you that the other side of that, when all the cameras are gone, when the song is stopped playing, and when everybody's going to bed, you know, they're working their 9 to 5s, guess who's suffering from that? Guess who's still living that? You, the artist. You the rapper, you the producer. And, you know, let me not get it twisted, because we live in a culture now where opportunity is so abundant, and because your 20s can just in a snap go away, like please believe I understand that to the fullest. It feels like just yesterday I was turning 21, and you know, I was doing the things that I was doing at 21, and it feels like just like that here I am 33 now. I think about that, and I know that mentality in your early 20s. You're hungry, you sometimes you're thirsty, you're trying to go after, you're trying to get it, you're trying to jump into different situations, go to different functions, go to different events, go to different studio sessions, show face at this sneaker release, show face at this event. You're constantly in movement because you know that you gotta get it. And hip hop does promote sort of a short window, or has promoted in the past. There's a short window for you to be successful. You can't come in the game a 35, 36-year-old rapper. That's been the culture that has been pushed. Now, obviously, we know that that's been proved wrong many a times, but that's sort of the culture that is pushed. That is the ideology that is pushed within the culture. And I myself have suffered from this ideology because, for those that don't know, I get very chronic migraines, and migraines sometimes can be attributed to lack of sleep. You know, for anybody who doesn't understand what a migraine is, it's like having the most intense times 10 headache. I remember I had a scare with walking pneumonia because of the way that I was working. And the doctor told me if you don't slow down, you could die. And in my head, I was like, yo, I could rap about that. And I started glamorizing in my head. You know, people put so much focus on rap's glamorization of a certain lifestyle. And I was just watching an NWA movie, and they had a simulated Q&A with some of the rappers. Like it was Ice Cube from NWA and like a reporter, an actress, who were saying that you got, or as an actor, you say you guys glamorize this certain lifestyle. How do you feel like that's okay to glamorize it? And they said, we're not glamorizing, we're basically representing, you know, we're showing you what our reality is.
This song glamorized gangs and drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality.
And I think that we've got to a point now to where the majority of artists that are out now don't seem to be showing you their reality. They're glamorizing. They're actually in a situation where it's the commercialization of a lifestyle, even if they don't live it. Like, think about Slim Jesus. Think about how he came out the gate and said, I'm not about this life, but I like the music and I can make the music. And people embrace that to a certain degree. So this is the generation we're living in, and still in the shadows, there is not much light and attention being put towards, first of all, mental health. That's one, because I think that's why we make a lot of the decisions we do, is that if your mental health is not in the right space, you'll take chances on your health that don't make any sense, right? You'll repeatedly do things to your body, knowing it's going to hurt you, knowing what the consequences are going to be. You'll still do that. That is a mental health issue. Let's start there. Secondly, we're talking about just an overall health issue in the foods that we're eating. Look, we're doing studio sessions at 3 or 4 in the morning. What's open at 3 or 4 in the morning? You tell me. Jack in the Box, McDonald's. There ain't no 24-hour vegan restaurants. There ain't no, I mean, there's some Subways that are open that time, but that's the thing about it, is that this is the norm within our culture. For all the rappers and producers who are putting your bodies on the line, why are you doing it? Ask yourself, why are you doing it? I know most folks would probably answer, so put yourself in a better financial space to get your financial freedom. Some people would say it's to take care of your family, but what good is it to grind your entire life, right? Grind your entire life to finally get some paper, finally get that money, finally get the place of your dreams, the car of your dreams, only to use that money that you've accumulated to now keep your ass alive. No cameras are there when, you know, you're getting tested for diabetes at 40-something. As you talk to your psychiatrist and you realize that you've been in an industry that has pushed this mindset of scarcity instead of abundance upon you, you know, there's not cameras there for that. And they're not there with good intentions if they are there. So that being said, at some point in time, we must take responsibility and ask ourselves, why is it that we've been pushed upon this ideology of living fast and dying young? That mindset, even at a young age when I heard that, I remember I heard Tupac say that one time, right? And I'm a huge Tupac fan. But at the same time, you know, it's funny because Murs brought it up to me one time. He was like, you got to understand, as wise and as brilliant as Tupac was, he was only 25. And you got to think, how many life changes have you gone through between 25 and 30? And I had to sit there and scratch my face and say, probably a lifetime worth of changes even between that 5 years. So Pac's perspective, although extremely wise, his perspective was a bit obstructed by age.